Hi, I'm Ysmael Reyes, flute professor at Colorado State University. In this video, you will find demonstration performances of the two CSU honor band audition excerpts and also instruction on how to prepare them for a convincing performance. An important consideration to start your preparation is the title of the book, Romantic Etudes by Ernesto Kohler. It is very important to know what the word romantic means for your playing. Some characteristics of the romantic period are very expressive tone color, long sustained lines, big intervals, and very often a program or descriptive title to help you portray a certain character or even different characters. We can find all these traits in these etudes. So one very important tip that I can give you is to focus very intently on your tone to find a full rich voice with steady breath control. This will help you achieve the tone you want for this style, but also it's very good for your general development as a player. I recommend to first start working very slowly on these two pieces to try to find your full sound without straining or forcing the tone. For example, this is as low as I would practice the first etude. Playing slowly during this stage of the learning process will also help you learn the notes very well. And again, just find that ringing quality on every note you play. As you get more comfortable with these pieces and you fine-tune how you're gonna use the air through these lines, you can also start thinking about natural breathing places, which will help you organize your phrases too. Etude 1. First, let's consider the title of the etude, Cantabile, which means in a singing style in Italian. So my previous suggestion of working slowly to find a beautiful singing tone is even more important than this one, especially if we also consider the markings for tempo, allegro maestoso or majestic allegro, and con ardore at the bottom of the staff, with fire. For Etude 1, one challenge that I often see is playing it with very precise rhythm, especially counting the longer notes. So make sure you use the metronome from the beginning of the learning process so you internalize the flow of the beat throughout the changing rhythms. A good strategy to achieve this is to play the subdivision, to actually articulate the 16 notes, like this. So this way you can feel every 16 and you can be very precise with the longer notes. In regard to rhythm, another very tricky section is measure 9, or the start of the B section of the piece. It is very important that you get a very clean shift between the quarter, 16ths, and triplet, and I strongly suggest that you count this first. You can use any syllable that you use for counting or numbers, but this is what I suggest. So first you establish a very strong beat, and then you go 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So this way you feel the change between the 16 and the triplet. You can even go as far as recording your counting and then playing on top of the counting with your instrument so you match the count as you play. The last area I would like to cover is the musical climax of this excerpt, which is measures 15 and 16. For this section, it's very important to develop close familiarity with the notes because there are a lot of sharps and double sharps. So start very slowly with a targeted focus. You just focus on one beat maybe. So I'd like to start at the top of measure 16, and I'll go like this. Very slowly and very controlled. Then I'll add one beat in front. And I'll keep repeating only these two. Then I'll put some material at the end. And this way I keep expanding, but I never compromise good form and very, very steady playing. For the last four measures, it's very important to plan your breathing. So this is what I suggest. So starting on measure 15, breathe after the quarter note. You can breathe here after the G sharp, or here before the low E. And after this D sharp. But no breath on the last two measures. It's very important that you plan the previous three. Now I will proceed to perform the entire excerpt. Etude number 2. It is important to note from the beginning of the learning process that this excerpt is actually only 8 measures long that repeat with slight differences at the end. So organize your material and identify these differences at the end of phrases when you practice. This etude also includes a descriptive title, the Seashore, and a marking at the bottom of the staff, imitando el rumore delle onde, imitating the sound of waves in Italian. So it is very important that you work on very continuous air and that your tone is balanced and even as you move through the registers. Also, it's very important that you plan your breathing because there are no obvious places here. So both for working on tone, airflow, and breathing, I will go very slowly at the beginning and practice the technique of my breathing. So this is what I would do. So this way, I'm emphasizing a very, very open breathing technique that will help me sustain the air when I'm playing the entire piece. Now, the entire excerpt. Remember to focus on smart and intentional practice rather than just playing through the etudes without any specific goals. As you go through the process of learning these pieces, be aware of how these challenges evolve as you practice them and target them separately, and then you can start putting them back together as you gain control over this material. Don't rush the process at this stage, and most importantly, do not compromise optimal form on everything you do: breathing, tone, breath control, fingering technique, posture. So when you practice like this with a very, very steady focus and good form, and you do this consistently and repeatedly, then you get used to sounding your best all the time. I hope you find all this information helpful when you're preparing your audition. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions about the audition process or the excerpts themselves. Good luck, and thanks for watching.